That's unfortunate. Okay, well the stream crashed. Hopefully people will come back. That's fine too. Still don't understand why I don't see the light object. It's like there's definitely a positionable okay, so 26 has a light object. There's 26 there. And then there's vox light.obj. So from everything I understand about this, I should be able to see the light object. And for some reason, I just can't. Hello, the viewers of Hack. Runs amazingly on a tiny 10 CPU usage, 90% RAM. Whoops. Yeah. Yeah, the RAM is, I'm wondering why the RAM is so terrible. I think if you deleted a lot of the models here, the RAM usage might drop, and there might also be just like a lot of cruft in the system somewhere. There's probably, I haven't optimized for RAM, and there's probably just like a lot of vestigial stuff that's causing RAM usage. How much RAM do you have? So if we take a look at this, man, ls, I don't know how to do human readable h. Okay, so if we take a look at this, like the cave, we're sitting at, so the cave itself, the object file for the cave, if you look how intricate the cave is, it's a 30 megabyte file. So we're sitting at 30 megabytes for that. The courtyard .obj 1.8 megabytes. I'm not sure why the courtyard itself is 1.8. Like that's not. This should not be a 1.8 megabyte file compared to the cave. You have the Emacs crystal, the Vim crystal, and the VS Code crystal are all something K. So if you delete the courtyard, that'll drop it by 1.8 megs. It really should not be a gig. I have no idea why it would be that high. Maybe there's just like some buffers that are being allocated that shouldn't be. I have no idea why the memory is that bad, if it's bad. It's an APU. What's an APU? Okay. Yeah, so the thing is I developed HackMatrix on an APU, actually. Oh, shared memory? Okay. Yeah, so I actually developed HackMatrix on an Intel NUC. Although I didn't have RAM constraints. I think I had 8 gigs of RAM on this thing. Because when you buy the NUC, you have to, I think, purchase the RAM yourself. Or maybe not. Actually, yeah, you do. Max RAM. It doesn't come with RAM. I bought it as a gift for my brother, and then I got into some financial trouble, and so he was like, "You don't have a computer, let me just give you one." It's like, okay, thank you. Gift gets regifted. I had the i3 BEK, or BEK, with 8 gigs of RAM. Iris 665, or 655 integrated graphics. With that i3 CPU. Surely not a dual core. It was a dual core with 4 threads. That was what I was developing on. So that's kind of crazy. So I did optimize it quite a bit for the CPU. Oh, the Apple. Oh, what are my current specs? My current specs are great. So I got a job at Amazon, and so I was able to get get pretty much everything I wanted. So this is a Ryzen 7 so the Radeon graphics are actually pretty good by itself, but then it has an AMD ATI Phoenix 3 and then an NVIDIA GeForce RTX 4070. So I think we're in the 50 era now. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with it. But it was a pain to get that job because I actually wasn't really trying to get jobs for a long time. I was just like, I just want to work on HackMatrix, and then I was like, I actually need to get some money. And now I'm like, I just want to work on what I want to work on. So I quit my job after a year, bought a house, and that's that. Okay, going back to the TUI stuff. So it's very strange that this is just not working. So I am going to add a new entity, and I'm going to add a new model. So this will be I'll add another temple and just see if that works. I added a temple earlier today and it worked, so something is strange. Home, colon, Kuber Logos, Vox, temple.obj. Maybe I was using Kuberlog. I'm using a relative path, so that shouldn't be a problem. Oops. Home, colon, Kuber, Logos, Vox, temple.obj. And then I'll add a positionable. There should be like 5. Yeah, look, it brought in the new temple. Okay, so let's bring that down to like 3, 2. So it's like looming over our heads, like a Independence Day alien. And now let's change this to home colon Kuber Logos HackMatrix Vox light.obj. Okay, so there's a second light. And it's ginormous. Oh, 60 might just be too far. Oh, there it is. It's just tiny. Okay, so that's the real light. And so now I want to move that to like. First, I'm going to drop it. Okay, there it is. Now I'm going to move it to 20. I think it's just blends in so well it's difficult to see. Huh, maybe 20 is just too far. Alright, yeah, I'm working on adding more lights and objects to the scene. I'm actually trying to make a game out of it, because the idea is that I'm going to keep the system open source, but then I'm going to sell a specific desktop environment that I make on itch.io, and so there'll be like the code part will be open source, and then like the assets / like content part I can sell to fund the code part. That's kind of the idea. But yeah, right now I'm just adding lights. For some reason, I couldn't see the objects that I was adding earlier. And now I can. Still don't know what happened to it. It's like I saw it for a brief moment. Oh, I'm moving it to the right. There it is. So I was moving it to the right. That's why it was not working the way I want it to. I need to move it to the left. There we go. Okay, so now it's like inside the temple. Just kind of what I want. So the temple itself is casting a shadow. Kind of. I'll move it outside of the temple. I'll move it like over to where the trees are, kind of. So let's move that like to -20. Almost out of the temple. -25. And then maybe like -25. But actually maybe a little bit closer to like -20, -16. There we go. Then I'm going to change its color. So this is R, so let's do 0.6. G, let's do 0.6. B, let's keep it at 9. So I want a blue light over there. I'm not sure why it's pure white light. It's kind of strange. Or maybe now I can put it in the temple and it will look interesting since it's blue. Well, maybe I can make it darker. Whoa. Okay, I'm going to put that into the temple now. So that'll be like -20 and then like -10. Should put it in the temple. There we go. Cool. I kind of like the temple having like a sort of bluish glow in there. I don't know, I definitely need to fix the lighting, especially for like environments that are this large. It's creating those like strange like shadow patterns. Not really ideal. Yeah, I could design an OBJ scene in Fusion. I think it loads STLs too. So I use OpenSCAD, and so I can create an object in OpenSCAD and then import it, and then Blender as well. Maybe I'll create a Blender object. So there are a few things that I do. So one is Magic Voxel. So if I go to downloads, let's do CD Magic Voxel Sleep 5 Wine magicvoxel.exe. So I'll pop that up over here. So the majority of the things were built in Magic Voxel here. So that's unfortunate. Let me go back and do that again. So one of the ideas that I've been playing with is having like areas where like workspace areas. So like one area would be like the graphical design area, and another area would be like the programming area, and then like the browsing area. Oh, I have no idea what's going on right now. It's lagging, or it's not lagging, it's glitching. So like if we take a look at Vox, oh, very strange. I thought that maybe I don't keep the Vox files in GitHub because they're just like too data intensive or something. But if we take a look, like the temple itself, well, that didn't load that. Something's not going on well. So there's a problem, which is that my sometimes my video card crashes. I think it's like a Linux driver for the GPU. And so this is a problem because if I were to restart the system, it wouldn't actually, I would have to hard restart to get the GPU to stand back up. So right now everything is running off the AMD GPU, I think. Hello, Exxon. The system is too high. But I think I can open up Blender off of the... I don't even have Blender at the moment. That's funny. Sudo emerge ask Blender. I can get it installed. I don't know if I want to stay with the like sort of voxel designs, or if I want to go into like you know, more mesh-based stuff. Hi, you are root Gentoo install Blender. Yes, I give ChatGPT or Codex access to my entire operating system. So it's going to fail because of the mask files and such. So it's going to do this and complain, and so I'm just going to have it auto unmask all of this stuff. Oh, Python mismatch. You should just use config update as opposed to manually doing this. No, don't do that. Targeted upgrade. I would laugh if Codex just borks my entire Gentoo system. I need to write down every hour. I have an alarm because I'm using manifestation magic to achieve a goal. So I'm just every hour I write down my goal. I make $1,000 revenue by March 31st, 2026. Or 31st, I mean. Okay. it's installing the bin. But now it's curling the... Okay. I'll take care of that later. If I were to use... Yeah. And yes, I am using Codex to... Or I was using Codex to install Blender. I mostly am doing that because it's funny for the stream. Here, there was a meme about it, kind of. Where's the shit? Where is that? It's right here, I think. Yeah, here we go. So some dude was like, husband is thinking of getting a separate computer to run Claude Code, dangerously skipping permissions because sandbox safety is hard. So someone's like complaining about AI safety, and someone's like, imagine if we had the type of technology where you could isolate compute, it would be crazy. So he's like talking about Docker or VMs, and I'm like, yeah, screw that, I run Codex as root, like I don't give a shit. Doing it for the memes. Maybe it's difficult for Codex to install Blender. I don't know. So it was going to install the binary of Blender as opposed to the compiled version of Blender. I'll just have to go and debug that. Like it does take a little bit of time to sort out the package mask flags, and I'm not really keen on doing that in the middle of the stream, to be honest. So let's see what else I can work on. I could remove this light. That's one of the things I could do at the very moment. Oh, and I also need to commit the changes I made that added the light component to this. Or, yeah, added the new light component to the engine GUI, or TUI. So it's this one that needs to be removed. I'm not sure if there is a... So there's a new entity, but there's not a delete entity. So before I use Codex to do this, git status, git add source protos. I guess I can add the client libs. I don't. Usually the client libs just get like the compilation should update that. In fact, I want to rm client libs python HackMatrix protos API and git add that. So it marks it as deleted. So that way, when people clone it, it will rebuild it. Just to be clear, HackMatrix itself was not vibe coded. It was pretty much all handcrafted. I started using Codex for the Wayland port, and then also the engine GUI or the TUI. Which I consider to be part of the Wayland port. Originally, I built the... I wrote this engine GUI right here, which is an mGUI. It's like the GUI, the way I edited and added models, there used to be just like a window up here that I could always drop down. it's called, an mGUI library, but it didn't work with Wayland. So as part of the Wayland port, I got rid of that and added the engine TUI. And so Codex kind of takes care of that. I haven't really refactored it or looked into it or anything. But mGUI, this is the library I used to use. But like I said, it sort of interferes. For some reason, it interferes with the Wayland context, and so I could never get it working with Wayland. And Forza, nice. Nice. Hello. You are on stream. Oh, Fishbone, what's your username, by the way? Are you Exxon or Timelapse? Fishbone Hospital. Or maybe you're not chatting. Literally diabolical. Yeah. I, the other day, installed Arch onto a QCal. I could actually show that off. Although, I don't have a GPU to pass through to it, as far as I can tell. But what I was trying to do is get HackMatrix running in a an image to see if that would work. And even with the NVIDIA GPU, it was slow. With the AMD GPU, which it's now using, I think it's going to be really slow. I guess I can see if I can get that to run. So sleep 5 start.sh. Let's see if I can get that Arch install to boot up. Okay, so there it is. Okay, so this is without the NVIDIA GPU, so it absolutely is crawling. If I were to completely restart my system, which I think would be pretty risky, then it might work. It'll be much faster if I restarted the system, but I think I would drop the stream because I would have to hard reset my computer and then get everything booted up before YouTube decided to quit the stream. So it's not really something I want to do. And there's a particular way I have to quit this. If I were to kill it here with a Control-C, I think it would actually crash HackMatrix for some reason. So that's like a bug I would have to fix. Works in the Arch VM. Yeah. So my GPU is crashed. So the first thing to note is that I have 2 GPUs. So I have the sort of integrated AMD version, and then I have the NVIDIA one. And so the GPU that it was using for that Arch image was it might have actually been a software renderer. I could actually check that. I'll rerun it because I'm actually kind of interested if that was software renderer or not. But it's either the software renderer or the AMD GPU. I'm going to open up i3. It'll be easier for me to check since HackMatrix is so laggy. Okay, so OpenGL, whoops. Grep OpenGL. Yeah, so that was the software renderer that we just saw. That's what the VL pipe means. So that was full soft. That was on That was on CPU. If you didn't set it to, no, I definitely set it to use VirtIO GPU. If you look at the, I mean, I had it working with the NVIDIA. It's just my NVIDIA. If I run NVIDIA SMI, it's saying that the card doesn't exist. But if we look at the start, you can see that it's using VirtIO GL. For some reason, the non-VGA version wasn't working. I was using, I think, the GTK or something. It wasn't working, but the VGA works. So. Yeah, the NVIDIA GPU crashed. That is not all I have to do. What else do I have to do? I mean, so when I ran it with my NVIDIA GPU up, it was running much faster than it is now. What are the other steps? Because I mean, when I booted it and I ran the glx info OpenGL, it didn't have the LVM pipe anymore, so it wasn't a software renderer. I'm pretty sure I was using the accelerated version. Time lapse, okay. Nice. Oh, I guess you were kind of keeping it anonymous. I didn't know that. I mean, you had a different name. I did have to install the Mesa drivers into the Arch system. So, yeah. Okay, so I have the, I deleted the client libs, I added the protos. So this will be add the light component to the API and the TUI. Oh boy. Insufficient permissions. Bro, why do I not have a Git folder? What has happened? Is it? Oh, okay. I don't know why it says insufficient permissions. That's really strange. already did that. A stale lock file. Update init recursive. I'm concerned about doing this because it will probably overwrite my changes. Okay, now it won't. You need to set the graphics through QEMU monitor the windowing system. Oh yeah, the Vertiode Vulkan is. It has a different name. I forgot what it's called. It's something that starts with V. Venus, I think. Yeah. Got it. So the objects. So it was actually a Chun problem. No, it's not even good at all. Can I get a repository handle? Okay, I think what I can do is joy. Yeah, that messed it up. Alright, I can just move this to the new HackMatrix. What was the status? Client libs. All of that. And the database. The database needs to move too. gosh, this is such a pain. I can't believe I'm doing this on stream. This is so annoying. Oh, I actually don't even want to copy that one, because that's deleted. Sorry guys, you guys are probably chatting and I'm busy just schlepping this thing here. I just want to get this commit set up. So I don't want to lose that work I did. Okay, crunchbang bin bash chmod plus x fix. Cannot stat. Okay, that's fine. I don't need to do that one anyways. Git add dot, git commit. What is this? This is add light component to engine, TUI, and API. Okay. And then the last thing to do is to move or copy the HackMatrix db matrix.db to HackMatrix db, because I don't want to lose all of the okay. I need to remove the db, or what I need to do is actually move the db to a higher level reference and then have a configuration that allows me to point to a specific db file, so that way I can have a default db file that people who clone the project can use, and then I can have another db file that I edit. Because something that's happened is I'll be working on something and then I'll like change a branch, or somehow that, because it's the db file is tracked, it will just revert to the old db file. I'll do something stupid and that'll revert, and then I'll lose all my changes. It's not great. Split packages so much because they're like independent, I think. I don't know, they like making things small. VLC. Oh, there's probably a lot of like plugins for VLC. Gentoo does the same thing, except they use flags. Yeah, plugin base, plugins extra, visualization, plugins all. Oh my gosh. Yeah, so let's take a look at the Gentoo VLC. And so what's important with the Gentoo stuff is the use flags. And so if you take a look at that, those are essentially separate Arch packages, you can call that, because you just turn on a flag and then it installs something extra. I mean, not exactly, but it's kind of close to that. Okay. So this is actually open in the old database. Guys, I'm going to try to restart. I want my GPU back, and then I can show you guys the Arch stuff. What may happen is the stream may crash. And if it does, I probably won't come back on. So if the stream disappears because I don't start it quick enough, then that kind of sucks. I think what I want to do though is probably make the new HackMatrix. By that I mean cd HackMatrix, make this one. If I try to make it, after I restart the stream, it's obviously going to take forever and the stream will crash. So I'll wait for that. Because right now the database file that's loaded is the old one, and so when I restart, I'll want to load the one I moved to. I guess they don't only do that with the really large packages. Yeah. Well, a lot of it, some of it, is just like compilation flag stuff, and so it's like you probably have like a pound defined somewhere in like a single source file with like a few lines of code or something for the use flags.